Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are out in Potchefstroom today at a beautiful Marsh Student House flip recently purchased by M5 Property Addicts. I'd like to take you through what the property looks like pre-Marsh Student House's full turnkey solution. I welcome you to join me and have a look. So as you can see, we have a massive entrance area, lots of room for parking, lots of room for growth or future extensions. As we can already see on the right here, the garages have been converted into bedrooms, but I will take you through to have a look at that. Few things to make note of. Obviously, we would already look at the security situation. We're obviously going to need to add an electric fence to this property just to give those students that extra bit of security and that bit of comfort upon moving in. As you can see, the paintwork and the damp is not really at its best standard, but we did purchase this property for an absolute steal, and we have put the numbers in correctly to still ensure that we do get a 14% return for that investor. Let me take you through what we actually deal with. I do warn you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a pleasant sight when you walk into some of these buildings. I only wish you could smell what we smell when we're doing the shoots, but let me take you through. Alrighty, so we are in a converted double garage here with obviously a further extension at the back of the garage. As you can see, the original conversion was either done in the 1990s or it was just done really poorly. If you take a close look at certain locks that have been put in, drywall, as you can see here, if you come around the corner with me here, you can see it wasn't really attention to detail. These types of things are things that my student house and its construction team will definitely fix out. If you have a look at these massive surface cracks, you can see that they are still not sealed. As you can see, the damp is coming through. You're looking at the spider webs, the cobwebs. This is definitely a lot of mold. If we take a look up at the ceiling there, the ceiling's bowing. We've got some real structural issues there that we'll have to get our contractors into. I can see some cables already there that we're going to have to get the electrician out. If I come into this room here on first impression, I have a look at this room, I look at the floor, I look at the dirt, I look at the windowsill here. This is all rotten. This will all have to be gutted and taken out, right? Okay, but theoretically we are looking at least 2 students to 1 student at a higher price range that will be occupying this particular size of room. We'll obviously do away with the old cupboards, get in some new cupboards, new paint, make sure the ceiling's correct, and really fix it up. New skirtings, polish the tiles, put some new paint in, seal these big structural cracks, get into the roof to make sure there's no termites or anything like that. So like I mentioned, this on the right here is obviously the exact same thing which we've seen there, but obviously we can see the individual who's done this has just been after a quick buck and actually not really caring about the individual who's living in the property. If we come through, they've obviously created a bit of a kitchen environment here. Definitely doesn't have the basic necessities required by the university. Some of the plug points are most certainly illegal, right? Okay, so we'll obviously look at seeing what we can save here and what we can upgrade in terms of these. I'm actually quite scared to open some of these cupboards, right? Okay, funny enough, there's actually individuals living in this property. So the previous tenant and owner has most certainly not been living up to those university requirements, because obviously they most certainly don't know what those requirements are. I'd like to take you around the corner. Right, okay, as you can see, it's got its separate entrance here, so we can obviously utilize this as a completely separate property. If we go into here, you've got your basic toilet and sink, no mirror on the wall here, which is a requirement for all bathrooms. Right, okay, another kitchenette here that we've got, we can convert or either gut it out. We then go into the back, right, okay, where you will find another full bathroom. I don't know if the camera guy would like to just come through. So this is your bathroom. It's got a little shower there, little bath, little toilet, mirror needs to be replaced, windows in here look a bit better, ceiling's got a lot of damp on it, but other than that, there's a few minor changes that need to be done in this bathroom. I now take you into what the current disaster looks like. So if you get in a bit of close shots here, so if you just have a look at the floor here, the general standard of how we find these properties is absolutely crazy. It's almost, I know the construction team, Paul and his guys, they spend about the first week just cleaning it out to actually see what they need to start with. Yeah, again, if I have a look at that, this used to be a door, not certain as to why that was closed in. Right, if I have a look at that there, that's a big concern. This whole wall here has got damp. Right, okay, huge spiders in here. Obviously it's got nice windows, but in the end, if you have a look at this big closet, this here is a fantastic room. We can fit 2 students in here, 1 bed there, 1 bed here, nice double walk-in closet for them. We'll obviously change the door up a bit, put a proper door system on here, and make it a lot more neater and tidier. We'll obviously look to see that this electrical is legal, obviously with that electrical box being in the room. We then move into another property here. Another little section. Obviously this is another room. It's a bit bigger. Obviously this room will share with that room, that bathroom. We'll obviously look to put 2 students into this room. This room is actually a little bit more cleaner, but on first glance I can already see we've got a bowed ceiling there. So we'd need to rip that out, check what's going on there. I'd have to make sure that there was no structural issues. Again, the cabling at the top of the corner here is a big concern for me. Right, okay, so we'd have to look at neating that up and putting it all into one conduit. Right, okay, but again, really big room. Roughly, I'm saying this is about 20 squares, 20 to 30, 38 squares in this room, so definitely 2 students. And this room obviously is, you can see this is obviously goes back out to the main entrance, right? So if you just watch it again and we go backwards, we've got 1 room there, we've got 1 room over there. Those 2 rooms are serviced by this bathroom. We then come back around, right, okay, and we lead back out into the kitchen. So if you don't mind, we'll go this way. They all are serviced by this kitchen, these 2 bathrooms. Right, okay, so theoretically we are looking at a double garage with a slight conversion with 2, 4, 6, 8 students, right, okay, in this little space here. Total rental income, 8 students times by $3,000. You guys can do the maths. So in my student house, we are firm believers in ensuring that there is definitely some space for a entertainment area. So as you look here, just off the back of the garage, you can see there's a broken bra down. We'll most certainly look for our investors to create a space here where the students can come out, have a social bra, interact with one another, and really create a good ecosystem. At my student house, we're firm believers in that. I'd like to just take you through around the property just so that you can get a general feel of the size of this property, as well as I can also just show you some of the things we would pick up on when we are purchasing and when we are going to be doing a fix. At first glance, just on the main boundary wall here, I already see huge damp issues. I can see certain damp has been temporarily repaired. If I actually took a hammer to that, it would peel away. So we'll definitely be looking at that type of stuff. So damp all along this wall here. This geyser most certainly for me is an extreme eyesore. This electrical cable running here, this should all be boxed up and sealed nice and tight. If I look at this light, it's falling off again. If we have a look at that, that's very, very scary. I don't know if we can actually see that. If I'm clever, I could probably give you guys a true indication by just pulling some of this off for you. That is how bad the damp is. Right, okay, but again, lots of space here. We'll obviously look to pave this all around. We'll increase the washing line space, get rid of that nice tree there, put in some deep washing here. Also bear in mind we own the property 2 houses down where we have a full laundry service which will obviously allow these students to make use of. Again, we're coming around to the property here. Right, okay, we're coming to the back end. Personally, I'm looking here already. I see here we've got a tipping over wall. Gonna have to look at doing something there to support that structure. Again, if you look on the side of the panel there, again some massive damp. Right, okay, I look at the roof here. This doesn't look so good. Right, again, I've got a light system here hanging from a cable. Have absolutely no idea what's plotting there. Right, again, irrelevant bush, so we'll have to do some gardening here as well. A lot of the gardening here we'll take out, put gravel stone on, low maintenance, low key, put the plastic down so that we don't have to worry about the garden too much and increase those operational expenses. Allow me now to take you into the main house. So on our original numbers, we have believed that the main house can actually sleep roughly another 16 students. So bear in mind with me, we've got 18 on the garage conversion and we're about to get 16 from the main property. On first impression, I can see they've tried to get it into some form of selling standard, but as you can see, clearly we've got a leaking roof there. Leaking roof up top right, okay, we've got cabling here that's just not ethical. As we come in, we go to the right, we've got our first room, right, okay, lovely old modern home back in the days, this would be a lovely little kitchen. You'd have your reading nook here, but obviously from my student house perspective, we're going to put a student into here. There's a cupboard just at the back here. Right, so definitely this will be a room that we can either put 2 students into, or we'd look to sell it as for 1 student at a higher price. We then go to the left, which I can only believe was some form of lounge. As you can see, damp on this property is huge. First thing we're going to have to look at is definitely getting onto that roof, seeing how much damage there really is. They've definitely sorted some of the damp out and tried to get it to its best of ability. Again, what can this be used for? My personal opinion and my suggestion to the investors is this could be a lovely TV room for the students. Lovely area where we can put a TV up, a little couch, they can all come through. If the investor wants to be aggressive, more than happy to put 2 students into this room, create a closed door facility. Right, we come through to this room, which actually comes into a completely separate area. So we definitely put 1 student in here, have that as the TV room. Right, okay, this student would obviously have to come through the lounge to get to his necessary bathroom, but that's not going to kill anybody. Right, we then go into the main section of the house. Lovely old fireplace there. Right, this is currently what I believe the house manager for this property is staying. Right, okay, but obviously we'd look to possibly remove this, make this room a little bit bigger. On second glances now, I actually stand to be corrected. I would convert that, right, okay, and we would make this space here into a single room. We'd look at converting it, we'd get the architect out, look to see if we could enclose this in after removing the chimney, and we could have a separate room here with some drywall, right? Creating a passage down the back here. Again, I'm definitely seeing there's a sense of major damp issues. Have a look at this crack here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a my student house first, in my opinion. I think it's definitely out in Potchefstroom. It seems to be the norm, but that's a big lateral laceration there. We'd obviously have to dig that open, put mesh in, re-cement it, make sure it's secured from the outside. If you have a look at the top corner there, you can see the guys who have come. Again, when it's raining, this chalkboard here, right, is not supported correctly, and there's definitely massive amounts of damp in this room. Again, we're looking at 2 students, 1 bed over there, 1 bed over here, little desk pop out there, and we'll have the cupboards for the guys. So we then go into a big kitchen, very old, needs to be updated massively. In the budget, when the owner came to us and approached us, I ensured that we said we would gut the entire kitchen out and get it a bit more upmarket than this. So all of this, as you see here, will be removed, and we will be putting in fresh stuff. Further on, we go into the next section of the room, which is the back end part of the main house. Right, okay, I'm not certain if all of these rooms are open for us, which unfortunately they are not, but these are just another pocket of rooms that occupy 1 or 2 student beds. As you can look, this is the bathroom section. Right, this bathroom here, immediately I see cracks, structural damage. Obviously that makes sense to me based on the pictures I showed you previously. We'd look to get some form of shower in here because we don't want the students having a bath. If you have baths in your student property, guys, I highly recommend you get rid of your baths, gut them out, put showers in, right? Principally, yes, you should be saving water, but these students are not going to share bath water. So don't be none the wiser that. We have an amazing company that works with us. Right, okay, they're one of our IT companies. They give us geyser monitors, which we track on an app so we can see how much water usage has been used for each property. These are the small benefits you are definitely going to get from my student house when you partner with us to do a student development. These are the extra things. This is the reality of the world. If you are a first-time investor in my student house, this is not a property that you are going to look to walk into and see the true potential that us as investors see when we purchase properties for our partners. partners. So my student house obviously has sourced this property. It has been purchased by the M5 Property Addicts team. So we will be ready for occupation for 2022 on this beautiful property in Potchefstroom. So for the intake for 2022, we're looking to have 36 students on this amazing property, which was purchased in a very specialized purchase agreement, which I think if you'd like more information on, most certainly pop Taurai information about this property and how to structure certain purchases of this property. In closing, the property was on the market for 2.1 million rand. After the My Student House team came to the Potchefstroom area, we built a relationship with the estate agent. We've eventually sat down with the owner and we've structured a deal where we've actually only paid a deposit of 400,000 rand for this financial year. That is all we put into this property. We then have structured it to the point that the remaining money will only be paid to the investor upon the occupation of the 2022 calendar year. So right now, the My Student House team has secured the deal and got the property down to a rate of 1.4 million rand. That is fantastic. We've saved not only the investor about 900,000 rand, we've also ensured that we haven't hurt his cash flow because he hasn't been required to pay for the amount right up front. And if we're strategical, our suggestion to the investor will be, upon us going live in 2022, we'd look to refinance the property for a higher value than we originally bought it for. So theoretically, you're looking at 1.4 million plus the 500,000 rand conversion, 2 million all in. Upon refinancing, you'll probably refinance for about 3.5 million, right? So you'll walk out of this property not only it being in a positive cash flow, right, but most certainly with the extra 1 million rand in your pocket, right, okay, for you to invest into your next investment opportunity with us. So this is what the My Student House team does, right? We are very sharp. We've got good contractors. So we look forward to you guys walking this journey with us, and we look forward to showing you the end products. Thank you very much. This is Terence Richardson, the Managing Director from My Student House, live from Potchefstroom. Have a good day.